Hey everybody, welcome back to the AV to the 7th Power channel, where we talk about all things law, true crime, and debauchery. Today, we're diving into the high-profile YSL RICO case with a little bit of a twist, because we're going to break down the key defendants, the charges that they face, and the strategies their defense teams are employing. From award-winning rapper Young Thug to lesser-known figures, we'll explore each player's role in this complex legal battle. A month after Young Thug became entangled in a sweeping RICO case, he issued a plea from jail during a pre-recorded address at Hot 97 Summer Jam in June of 2022. He urged the public to sign the Protect Black Art petition, which advocates for laws limiting the use of rap lyrics as court evidence, emphasizing that this fight was bigger than just him or YSL. This plea came amidst a 56-count RICO indictment against him, Gunna, and 26 others in the YSL collective, accusing them of participating in gang activities and criminal conspiracies, often using their lyrics, social media posts, and slime-branded clothing as evidence. Gunna, who was arrested alongside Young Thug in May of 2022, was released in December of 2022 after using now Donald Trump's attorney Steve Sadow after taking an Alford plea for racketeering conspiracy. Meanwhile, Young Thug denied bond multiple times over concerns of witness intimidation and a flight risk, remains one of the 6 defendants set for trial. The trial has already seen significant developments, including the recusal of Judge Glanville over a secret meeting with prosecutors and Little Woody. Now under Judge Whitaker, the case is resumed. As the trial unfolds, it continues to stir debate within the hip-hop community over the use of art in criminal proceedings and the broader implications for Black artists. This case has included twists, turns, corruption, attorneys being arrested, judges being kicked off the case, and crazy witness accounts. The alleged RICO conspiracy began in 2015 with the alleged gang war between YSL and If Gang, with central figures such as Young Thug, Rich Homie Quan, and the departed Peanut, and even Birdman being brought up in the tale. The beef between Little Woody and Shell Kell is what fueled the controversy. Shell Kell has been extremely vocal on Instagram these days, recounting and sharing his thoughts on the proceeding as his rival, Little Woody, is free. Let's start with a timeline just to bring everybody up to speed. On January 6th of 2015, the state alleged that it all began when Little Woody got jumped by Shell Kell and others at Club Crucial in Atlanta. A day later, on January 15th, 2015, miraculously, the next day, a shooting occurred at a recording studio where If Gang members were located at this time. It is suspected that Little Woody was the shooter. 3 days later, on January 10th of 2015, Donovan Thomas, Nut, one of the highest-ranked members of the Bloods in the state of Georgia, was shot and killed. We later learned that Little Woody stole his iconic peanut chain and may have more to do with his death than he is telling us. Following Nut's death, 8 drive-by shootings were said to have taken place in Atlanta towards YSL members. On January 26th of 2015, Lucci, YFN Lucci, a rapper Nut managed, and his mother had his mother's home shot at, and on that fateful day, YFN Lucci's mother and her boyfriend were injured from the violence. On February 10th of 2015, weeks later, Woody and his brother were followed and shot at. No one was injured in that crime. A few days later, on February 19th, 2015, Woody, his child, and his child's mother were shot at, and Woody returned fire. April 26th of 2015 was the date of the Lil Wayne tour bus shooting. It is alleged that the beef spilled into the music industry. Birdman was an advocate for Young Thug, and the affiliations that they had led to this shooting. On April 28th of 2015, Little Woody was arrested for possessing a gun purchased by Quindarius Little D Zachary. A week later, May 7th, 2015, Little D was arrested for a weapons possession charge, and the weapon he possessed matched the ballistics from the January 26th drive-by shooting true. There is much more to this story, but let's focus on our defendants for today. First up, we have Young Thug, the award-winning rapper whose real name is Jeffrey Williams. As the centerpiece of the YSL case, Young Thug faces 9 counts, including racketeering, illegal possession of firearms, drug-related charges, and street gang participation. His status as a high-profile figure has put a spotlight on his case, making every courtroom appearance a media frenzy. Next, we have Yak Gotti, another rapper closely tied to Young Thug. Real name Diamante Kendrick. He signed to YSL Records and faces 12 counts, including racketeering, murder, illegal firearms, drug offenses. His alleged involvement in violent crimes has added a significant weight to the prosecution's case. Next, we have Quamavius Nichols, aka Quay. Quamavius Nichols, also known as Quay, is another key defendant. While less known than his co-defendants, Nichols plays a significant role in the case, allegedly involved in various criminal activities under RICO charges. His charges include murder, participation in criminal street gang activity, possession of a firearm, and possession of a firearm during the commission of an inherently dangerous felony. There's also Shannon Stillwell, or SB. Not only is he facing serious charges under the RICO Act, but he was also a victim of a stabbing incident in jail, adding a layer of complexity to his current situation in the defense's strategy. His charges include murder, participation in criminal street gang activity, possession of a firearm, and possession of a firearm during the commission of an inherently dangerous felony. Wadalius Ryan, also known as Little Rod, is another defendant in this complex case. Like his co-defendants, he faces serious allegations that include charges related to street gang activities and violent crime. One of the youngest defendants in this case, he was constantly involved in a life of crime at a young age. Little Rod's crime is centered on being involved with the conspiracy to violate the RICO Act. Next up, we have Marcavius Huey, also known as Quay, is a defendant here. Huey faces 19 counts, including charges related to racketeering, armed robbery, aggravated assault, guns, car hijacking, and street gang participation. We don't even have time to go through each crime, but this Quay has 19 charges in the original indictment. Now that we've met our defendants, let's talk about their defense strategies and the legal minds behind that battle. Young Thug is represented by Brian Steele, a powerhouse in criminal defense known for his aggressive tactics and high-profile clientele. Steele has been focusing on discrediting the prosecution's evidence, arguing that his client is being unfairly targeted due to his celebrity status and wealth. Some of Steele's key moments have been advocating for Young Thug so much that he was willing to be held in contempt. For Yak Gotti, Diamante Kendrick, we have Doug Weinstein. Weinstein is bringing up a unique approach to the table, arguing that Kendrick's involvement in YSL Records does not equate to involvement in criminal activities. They are emphasizing his role as an artist rather than a criminal mastermind. Doug Weinstein is responsible for one of the original motions to go up to the Georgia Court of Appeals to get Judge Glanville removed from the case. Next, we have Quamavius Nichols, aka Quay, represented by Bruce Harvey. Nichols' lawyer Bruce Harvey has been focused on procedural errors made during his arrest, suggesting that evidence was obtained unlawfully. Harvey has recently been known to really advocate for Quay to have his case severed from the other defendants. Widely known as a legend in the Atlanta area as a criminal defense attorney, Bruce Harvey is someone you want on your side. Next up, Shannon Stillwell, represented by Max Shard. For Stillwell, Shard is playing on the sympathy of the jury, highlighting his stabbing incident in jail to suggest that his current state affects his ability to stand trial fairly. Little Woody is one of the likely characters who committed a majority of these crimes and could be responsible for what Shannon is being charged with. Next up, Rodalius Ryan, Little Rod. Ryan's defense strategy, led by Angela Williams, focuses on separating her client's actions from those of the group, arguing that his association with YSL does not prove direct involvement in the alleged crimes. Angela had the shortest opening argument and has shed light on the fact that as a public defender, she is only being paid $15,000 for the duration of the case. It was eventually moved up to $55,000. However, she is allegedly working a second remote job while trying this case. Next up, we have Marcavius Huey, also known as Quay. Huey's representation is by the Matthews family, Carrington Matthews Sr. is a point line of defense for Huey, who is facing multiple charges with this RICO conspiracy. In fact, Huey is facing the most charges in this conspiracy. The Matthews team focus has been to continue to review procedure and ensure that all procedures were followed by the prosecution and law enforcement during the duration of the investigation. Notice some patterns or differences? Let's break down those strategies. There are some common themes among the defense strategies, such as challenging the credibility of the prosecution's witnesses and questioning the legality of evidence collection. However, each lawyer has unique tactics. For example, Brian Steele's aggressive courtroom demeanor starkly contrasts with Weinstein's calm, cool, collective focus on procedural technicalities. Legal experts suggest that while Steele's aggressive strategy could pay off in dismantling the prosecution's case, it also risks alienating the jury. Meanwhile, Shard's focus on technicalities might be more effective in a case where procedural errors could lead to dismissal of evidence. Each strategy has its strengths and its potential pitfalls. For instance, playing on sympathy may work for some of the defendants, but it could also be seen as diversion from the facts for others. What does the future hold for these defendants? If Young Thug's defense can effectively dismantle the prosecution's narrative, he might avoid the harshest penalties. On the other hand, Yak Gotti's case might depend heavily on separating his artistic persona from the alleged criminal activities. A successful defense could lead to reduced sentences or even acquittal or a mistrial for some defendants, but failure could result in life-altering prison terms in one of the worst jails in America. Behind the scenes, these lawyers are meticulously preparing for every twist and turn. From gathering new evidence and countering the prosecution's claim, they're leaving no stone unturned. In a recent interview, Brian Steele mentioned the immense pressure of the media spotlight, saying, "We're not just fighting the courtroom, we're fighting in the court of public opinion as well." To sum it up, this case is a high-stakes game, with each defense attorney bringing their unique strategies to the table. The outcomes each defendant could have vary dramatically depending on how these strategies play out in court. What do you think will be the outcome? Share your thoughts, predictions in the comments below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. See you in the next one. Bye.